All right, this is Eric Stein with Insured Solutions. Thanks everyone for logging in to our presentation with ICW. Dawn Heath, we're very excited to have Dawn with us today to go through the ICW Insurance Group program for the East Coast states that we're promoting in. And just a few things. One, we would like to definitely take questions for this webinar. If you could utilize the menu bar on the right, there's a chat section, and you could go ahead and type your questions in as you think of them and during the webinar, and we will go ahead and answer those at the very end with Dawn with us. So please feel free to do that. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Dawn, if you would kind of hit the next slide.
Okay.
So first, before we introduce Dawn Heath with ICW, we wanted to quickly let those of you who have maybe not worked with us yet know a little bit about Insured Solutions. We are an MGA. We only work through independent agents throughout the country, and we have over 15,000 agents in our network, and glad that you're joining us in that as well. And of course, for our agent partners, we offer a quick turnaround on our pricing. We try to do indications as many carriers that will allow it, so we can get right to your target and, of course, pay the highest commissions possible. Next slide. And as far as our programs, Insured Solutions has 4 distinct areas. One is our Source One program, which is actually a combined payroll and workers' comp package that is centered for higher mod accounts that maybe not are able to get placed in the standard market. And the carriers there are all A-rated, such as Zurich, AmTrust, and Benchmark. We also have a PEO exchange division whereby it could be referred, a client or submission could be referred to, with your permission, to a PEO that has a specific niche, such as roofing, long-haul trucking, temporary staffing, many areas that traditional markets will not cover, the PEOs may. And those carriers range from AIG, Zurich, Benchmark, State National, AmTrust, and the like. And again, we always try to fit the standard market program first, but when it's not, we want to be able to give you options that might cover the account just in case. We also have a PAYGO division, which is what we'll be speaking to you a little bit about today with ICW, which has standard market carriers such as ICW, Everest, AmTrust, AIG Specialty, whereby the client can basically process their workers' comp through an online system with a very low down payment, such as 0 or 10% down, and be billed pay-as-you-go, and they do not have to convert payroll systems. They can maintain their current payroll processing, but still report pay-as-you-go, which eliminates much about the surprise audits and such. So pay-as-you-go division is our fastest growing today. We also have a Commercial Advantage division, and the Commercial Advantage division processes GL and excess umbrella through Rockingham and McGowan on a pay-as-you-go basis. So next slide. And also, as you know, we are very strong in risk management. For those of you who have worked with us, we actually have staff with nurses, risk managers, and our own claims adjusters that assist our carrier partners such as ICW with claim issues and risk management issues. So and also I just got to note that we may be having some issues with the slides themselves. I'm seeing the slides change. Hopefully others are as well. Debbie, I'll let you send me a note if you are seeing the slides change, just so to make sure that we're operating properly. But someone just sent me a note that we're having trouble seeing it. Hopefully it's their computer, not us, but we'll find that out. But back on to risk management, we, based on premium schedules for the client, we can offer a level of risk management to help your clients keep the cleanest book possible. So that does come with it. And it looks like our slides are moving, so hopefully everyone can see that. And it may be just a computer issue of the person. So with that, Dawn, again, I'd like to introduce Dawn Heath with ICW Group. Turn it over to you. So next slide, Dawn, and to take it away. Thanks for being here with us.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, Eric. I'm excited to talk about ICW and welcome everyone to the conversation. And again, please feel free to ask any questions at the end of this slideshow. We'll open it up and answer any questions that you may have. So ICW is a work comp carrier. We are licensed in all 50 states. However, we're going to focus our discussion on our Southeast states. We write anywhere from large to small business, and we have a super interactive website. This slide kind of will lead you to ICW.com, Agent Resource Center, where you can download the supplemental apps, look at code appetites, and it's sort of interactive, just a way for the agents to see what we're looking to write. Here again is our ICW Targeted States, and for now we're just going to concentrate again on the Southeast region, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee. So we'll talk about the large business at first, the large business submission guidelines, how you can reserve the market and what's required to reserve the market and what we need for a submission. So ICW, we have we can reserve the market up to 92 days prior to the effective date. You can enter the submission up to 120 days prior to the effective date. And in order to reserve, we'll need the Accord application, 4 years of historical payroll, the mod, and 4 years of currently valid loss runs. And here it just talks about some of our minimum premiums. For the states, these are for contractors. Each class code in each state have different minimum premiums required to write. You can contact Insured Solutions and they can tell you exactly which class codes fall into which minimum premium. For minimum premiums as far as contractors, as you see in the Southeast, $25,000 for the Florida, Georgia, Southeast region for contractors. I just wanted to kind of represent some of our recent successes. And as you can see, ICW does write some higher risk classes of business. We will write trucking, 500 mile max radius. Minimum premium for trucking in Georgia and Florida is $75,000. We'll write property management. We have a lot of success in lawn maintenance, automobile repair shops, contractors, wholesalers, manufacturers. We do a lot of, classes that you may not think about us that we'll do, but we will consider those. We do have some excluded class codes. So this slide is a bit confusing where it says excluded, these are excluded operations. So there are a few. We're not looking to write roofing contractors. There's several other risks that we're not looking to write. We don't want to write a lot of height exposure, so anything over than 2 stories. If it's incidental, we might consider. We don't want to write a lot of underground exposure, so anything under 15 feet is not something that we're looking to write. And again, if you have any questions on any sort of classes or class codes, feel free to call Eric and he will definitely fill you in on what we're looking for. We also have a small business, and it's called IQ because it's an instant quote. So it's a super interactive submission process. It's kind of what they call quote or unquote untouch. So you submit your accords, your 3 years loss history, and your mod worksheet. And if it fits in that box, which is mods up from 70 to 130 for small business, and small business goes anywhere from $2,500 to $30,000. for certain class codes, and if it fits within the little box, it will automatically generate a quote to you with no touch. You'll put it in the system, it will generate a quote, and you can bind it online. We do have, again, the interactive website that you can watch videos, live webinars, get some safety program checklists. We'll work together, Insured Solutions, on that as well. And a big one for ICW is that we do have a pay-as-you-go, as Eric discussed earlier, where you can go online and put in your payroll, pay online, again, to avoid any sort of AP at audit. It's web-based reporting. It's free. In most states, it's a 10% deposit. For Florida, we do offer $200 deposit. Whatever, if you're in Florida and you're looking to write in Florida, Florida is the only state that will offer $200. All the other states is 10%, and then you pay as you go. It is a direct bill. Once you bind, our accounting department will direct bill for the deposit and set the insured up on the pay-as-you-go system. Again, just the website does have some tutorials. It's a very easy website to go through to kind of walk you through how to set it up. But our accounting department is very helpful in taking care of that. It's a super user-friendly system. I know I went through that kind of quickly, and you all probably have tons of questions. So at this time, Eric, I'm going to open the floor and see if there's any questions. Again, I know I went through pretty quickly, and it's a lot to take in. So please feel free to ask away.
Absolutely, and Dawn, I'll cue those up for us. The first question I had was about, you mentioned entering the system and submissions online, and to clarify that, Insured Solutions has an online portal. When you get appointed with us at insuredsolutions.net, you can enter that submission online, and that will speed up the turnaround of your quote by, probably at least 1 to 2 business days. And if you enter that online, we, of course, will enter it into the ICW system for you. Many times the ICW system will kick out supplemental questions and applications that need to be answered. We will fill those out for you as much as we possibly can, utilizing the Accord data that you submit, and turn that back around to you for questions. So typical turnaround time was the next question. And so on that note, I'll answer that one, Dawn, as well. The turnaround time is typically, again, you can shorten it by a day by entering it online at insuredsolutions.net. And by the way, our system is user-friendly in that if you already have your Accord app, you can just upload it. So it's in the lost data and supplementals. So you don't have to re-complete a submission. There's just some basic information to lock it down. So that will happen there. But in regards to the typical, if you just email the submission, and by the way, you would email that to submissions@insuredsolutions.net. That's submissions, plural, at insuredsolutions.net. And we will enter that for you. So give us 2 to 3 business days to turn that around. Again, usually there's questions or supplemental that come back from the ICW underwriting department. So we will get that out to you. Once you turn that back in, probably another day or 2 to get the actual quote out. We are in some instances able to give indications, so we'll do that as much as we can for you, so you know we're right in the right target range if it's worth your time to actually proceed in terms of getting questions answered. But that's how that works. And anything to add to that, Dawn, in terms of submission process?
No, I think you're right on. Entering online to your system will cut down time. The same for us. So I think you gave a great timeline. And as far as supplementals, you were correct in saying that you send out the supplementals needed, and I may come back with additional information needed. And again, I will say to you, as far as indications, hey, this is where I'm at. Where do you need to be to avoid any sort of unnecessary back and forth if we can't get in the ballpark where we need to be at?
Exactly. And by the way, from the quotes we started seeing coming through the program with ICW, it's been extremely aggressive. So we're really, really excited to have them as a partner for that purpose, as well as the quality of the A rating and the service. But that's exciting news to see some aggressive pricing coming through right out of the gate. Now, the next question, Dawn, was had to do with the maximum mods and so on. You referred to a few things, I think, in the small business unit, but maybe you could cover again in the large business unit on mods, and also and also maybe refer back to the kind of loss ratios and so on, frequency, non-frequency that you're looking for.
Okay, so on large business, ICW does not have a max mod. So we will not decline a risk if it comes in with the 3.0. In small business we do, but in large business we do not. So feel free to send in the submissions with the higher mods. It may just have been one severity loss that drove that mod up. Speaking of losses, ICW doesn't really love frequency, nor does any carrier. But we do it. Our model is based on a loss pick. So if it's more of a frequency driven, it's not going to produce the best loss pick, which won't enable us to provide a lot of credits and some additional pricing. That I don't want to say that to deter you from sending us in any submissions, because we do have ability to debit it and of course credit the accounts as need be. Just for a little foreshadowing, if it's a frequency driven account, there's going to be a little less negotiating room as far as pricing. But again, I don't want to deter you from sending it in and having us take a look at it.
Oh, excellent, excellent. And we've noticed that too, that, again, frequency driven risks or submissions are getting declined. So we want to keep an eye on that, but we probably should go ahead, as far as the agents and communication to you, go ahead and submit anyway, just to make sure we don't miss anything and that we cover the market for ICW, right?
But by all means, submit it. And if I see it and then they say, hey, I have to debit this 40% and I have to consent it, sometimes that's a better option than going to the state fund. And sometimes the insured I will definitely give those options. I'm not going to automatically decline if it has some frequency. So yes, by all means, send it in and let us take a look at it.
Good deal. And then Dawn, one of the next questions was, being that we're focused primarily out of the gate with ICW for the Southeast, if the client is headquartered, let's say in Georgia, but maybe they have some locations outside of the Southeast, such as California or Illinois and such, where you are licensed, would it be okay to write those accounts if it's multi-state?
Yes. We will accept multi-state submissions. We need 80% of the payroll will need to be in the core states, but if it has ancillary payrolls in other states, we absolutely will look at it. Again, we are licensed in all states except for the monopolistic, so that is not a problem.
Got it. And then the next one would be we said no mod limit, but someone did ask just to make sure, what would be the highest mod you would write? Is that unlimited still?
It is. In the large business segment, there is no mod cap. So, I haven't seen one higher than 3, but I'm sure there might be. It's just, no, we do not. We're never going to see a mod at, 3.7 and say, no, we won't write it. We'll look at it. Depends. But no, we do not have a mod cap for large or middle market business. No.
Great. And then to clarify too, they ask again, an agent asked regarding the getting approvals and entry for that small business IQ program. Is that something that we do through ICW or IS? And the answer is definitely through IS. We will submit everything for large and small business for you, so we can streamline that underwriting and quoting process for you. We will handle it all for you, would be the answer there. The next question, Dawn, I guess it would be for me here. Can you process payroll if, for the client, along with the pay-as-you-go system with ICW? And the answer is absolutely yes. We have the ability to, if the client does want payroll services, which I know is very common, and that low down payment that ICW offers of the $200, and you want to have a payroll service wrap around, so you can compete with a PEO. We can do it for you out of our Source One division internally, and we have an online payroll program similar to the online entry of the data for workers' comp, and we can even help consolidate that for you if you'd like, for the client, in that if they process payroll with us, we'll have a member of the payroll team do the data entry for ICW for the client, or the client, of course, could do both themselves, whichever they prefer. And the payroll will be just like an ADP or a Paychex, in that it will be on the client's bank account, checking account number, just like a payroll service. The taxes will be filed under the client tax ID like a payroll service, and they'll get all the benefits of course, tax filing, direct deposit, on-site check printing, and so on, similar to a payroll service. So that'll just make it very convenient for the client, especially if you're going up against the PEO, or the client just wants to consolidate the workers' comp and the payroll together. So hopefully that, you think after that, Dawn, that you're seeing down there?
Yes. Just want to reiterate, the 200 down is a Florida option only. The other states is 10%. So it's still very low in the grand scheme of things, yes.
Right. One other question that came up, Dawn, is if the client is currently using a PEO, especially let's say in Florida, I keep using that because it's such a heavy PEO state, but the client wants to switch workers' comp and use ICW, can you write a client who's using a PEO and carve out that workers' comp program?
Yes. As using PEO as far as payroll services?
Exactly.
Yes, and ICW will write insureds coming out of a PEO. There's a bit of a caveat to that. It's good sometimes, it's bad other times. ICW will use the PEO's mod until the insured's mod is promulgated. So again, it could be good. The PEO's mod could be a credit mod, or it could be a debit mod. So if the PEO has an 80 mod, we'll use that 80 mod until the insured's mod is promulgated on their own.
Excellent, excellent. And again, we can cover a lot of these details offline or with your marketing effort and Underwriter, Insured Solutions,
right,
and get things handled there. One other question, Dawn, is that we had come in, is towing with some repo a consideration if the account is clean with losses and frequency and travel is no more than 100 miles?
Repo is tough. Towing we'll look at. If there's any repo services, it's usually an automatic decline. I say usually, sometimes we make exceptions to what we call black class codes. I've written a sugar mill, and that's a cotton gin, and that's black. So send it in. All we can do is review it. It's not something that we advertise that we'll consider. Repo is tough for us, as for many markets. But again, I won't say a hard no. They're a good account, and repo is just an ancillary offer that they do occasionally. Yes, if they are a repo towing company, I can probably say no.
So I would say that's good information. And then this one may be for me again. It would be regarding, do you accept broker of record letters? And the answer is yes. And we'll just follow the traditional process of, if you submit the broker of record letter, prior to the effective date, then you could be broke. And once it's accepted by us and ICW, then we can convert the account and quote over to you for service and commission. If you get a broker of record letter midterm and it's approved, then you will be the servicing agent until the renewal. And so we do have sample letters with the proper wording that ICW would accept to convert over. Also, if you are utilizing another MGA and you would like to use us, hopefully for our service model, we appreciate that, and we can accept that as well with the same rules. Of course, that has to be approved by us and has to be approved by ICW as well. Let's see here what other questions coming in here. So one of the most important things that in everyone's heart is the commission rate that you pay at Insured Solutions for ICW. And the answer is we pay up to 6%, and it all depends on size and risk, but typically 6% is the norm. And let's see if there's any other questions here. I think that's all that came in. Dawn, were there any other last-minute thoughts you had or anything that jogged your memory of any other items to cover?
No, I just want to, again, thank you for inviting me to do this. I'm really excited about this partnership we have together, and I'm looking forward to seeing plenty of submissions come in after this. And again, Eric, if you have any questions after this, feel free to let me know. Again, I know I went through it pretty quickly, and there's probably tons to learn, but I know that you know everything there is to know about it, so I'm sure that you can help out your agents. And just again, thank you for inviting me.
And thank you, Dawn. We appreciate your time. And again, anyone that has submissions, please feel free to email that at submissions, plural, at insuredsolutions.net. And also, please get appointed with us, and so that you're set up for our own broker portal that speeds up the submission process at insuredsolutions.net. It's a 3-minute process to get appointed, in that if you have your license E&O saved on your computer, you can literally upload everything at the same time and get your username and password for our portal immediately, so that you could start entering submissions. And of course, please email your marketing rep or info@insuredsolutions.net if you have any further questions. We are recording this webinar. If you wanted to pass it around to anyone in your office, we'll be emailing the link out shortly in regards to this webinar, so that you could email it to other account managers and such that may not have been able to join, or producers. And we're looking forward to working with all of you. And again, of course, ICW, we're super excited to have them on board, and looking forward to a long-term profitable relationship with you and our agents. So thank you again, Dawn.
Thank you.